Howdy, welcome to BanjoBenClark.com. I am Banjo Ben, your host here on the website that teaches you how to play guitar, banjo. This week is Mandolin week. I'm going to teach you Temperance Reel this week on mandolin. I taught it last week on guitar. A couple folks over on the Facebook page said, man, you really need to do this on mandolin. So that's what we're doing. Now this is an old Celtic fiddle tune. It's a lot of fun to play. It's in the key of G. I love these old Celtic fiddle tunes. A lot of people think it's because I have kind of a Celtic or Irish or Scottish background, but I don't. I'm from Texas. But we're going to learn a very basic version of this in the first A and B parts. But then the second time, when we go through those second A and B parts, I'm going to throw some little tricks in there, those little pull-offs and triplets and things like that that kind of set apart these Celtic tunes. So you can use it for this tune as well as your other fiddle tunes and Celtic tunes. All right? So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, here in a moment, I'll have you come over to the website, BanjoBenClark.com. You can purchase a Gold Pick membership. That gives you access to hundreds of videos and tabs. For this one, I've got the, about a 20-minute video lesson, and then I've got tabs in PDF, TEF file formats, and 3 different speeds of MP3 rhythm tracks. All right, so let's jump into the first measure of Temperance Reel. Let's learn some of this Temperance Reel. This is a really fun fiddle tune to play. It's in the key of G, and like a lot of fiddle tunes, it's got an A part and a B part. And so the A part is 8 bars or 8 measures long, and then it'll repeat it. Okay, and then the B part is 8 measures long, and then it will repeat the B part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the very basic melody for the first time through the A part and the first time through the B part. But then the second time that we go through those parts, I'm going to beef it up a little bit and give you a few little tricks that are often used on these Celtic jigs and reels and tunes, fiddle tunes like this. Now let's go ahead and throw up the first line of tab there. You'll notice that beneath each one of the notes I have little black arrows that determines our pick strokes. So on the down beats I have down arrows, which means down stroke with our pick hand. And then on our up beats I'm going to have up arrows that means up strokes, okay, with our pick hand. And so you want to pay attention to that. This one's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of tricky pick strokes. You mostly have measures full of eighth notes. So it's pretty straightforward, as I mentioned. Now we've got our first 2 measures is a little intro that I built. This is just kind of a tempo statement that you might want to use. It sounds like this. Okay, so if you were going to kick off this song for other folks and they wanted to know how fast you're going to play it, you could use this to do that. Okay, so we're going to start off just hammering on from the 4th to 5th fret on the D string and playing through the bottom 2 strings at the same time, hammer, and then do this little shuffle pattern. Measure 1. And then measure 2 is all quarter notes. We'll play through both of those strings for the first beat and then just walk up the scale getting ready to go into the first A part. And then measure 3, we get into the melody of the tune. It's really straightforward here. Like I said, the first time through this A part, I'm going to give you the very basic melody so that you can really hone in on that. But measure 3 sounds like this slowly. Okay, so it's right in the G major scale. It doesn't get outside the G major scale, and it kind of dips and climbs, dips and climbs. When we get to measure 4, it sounds like this. So these are just scale licks. The thing that kind of sets Temperance Reel apart is that the high note for it is that high G up there. So it will typically hit that on the second beat there, measure 4. So let me just play measures 1 through 4 for you slowly. If this isn't slow enough, I've got another video segment here on the site where I play it much slower than this, so don't worry. Now measure 5, we're going to go to an E minor chord. That's the relative minor of G major. Here's the key for this. I want you to bar across the second fret of the second and third strings. And you're not going to bar it like you would necessarily a guitar bar chord. Whenever I bar on the mandolin, these two different strings, my finger's pointing more towards my right shoulder. Okay, but I'm covering both of those strings. It might take a little practice. But you want to make sure and get both of those clear. Okay, so I'm going to bar that, and we're going to play the A string first, quarter note, then jump down to the D string. And that's going to come more in handy later, this bar. And then we can round up our finger to play on the third beat of measure 5, right up the scale. So measure 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a little turnaround lick here in measure 6. It sounds like this. Okay, so now we're halfway through the first A part.